Here has been fought out a little case, of little consequence as a case, but the world is interested because it raises an issue, and that issue will someday be settled right, whether it is settled on our side or the other side. William Jennings Bryan, during the Scopes trial.
Rhea County was organized in 1807 from Roane County, and it was named in honor of John Rhea, who was a Revolutionary War soldier and a member of Congress. And in 1822, William Smith founded a trading post called Smith's Crossroads, which named the beginning of the town of Dayton. It was called Dayton later when the railroad came into being and came through town. Cincinnati Southern Railroad was established in 1869. And of course that brought a lot of prosperity. But then things started settling down with the Dayton Coal and Iron Company. Prosperity again hit big time. But the Dayton Coal and Iron Company later went broke. And that's when the people decided to start working on something for economic prosperity. The Dixie Highway was developed between 1915 and 1927. It began building modern roads in the South, and the primary purpose of that was so that farmers could move their produce all the way from Detroit to Miami. The townspeople of Dayton and Rhea County wanted to have a better way of promoting economic growth in the county and the city. And therefore, this is where the Scopes trial comes into play.
By 1925, the community was in bad shape because the Dayton Coal and Iron Company had gone bankrupt several times, was trying to be resurrected. So George Rapelier, a mining engineer, had come to town to try to do that. On May 4th, 1925, in the Chattanooga Daily Times, the community leaders saw a notice from the American Civil Liberties Union wanting a teacher to challenge the Butler Act, which outlawed teaching evolution in the public schools. They got a group together and said, okay, we can do this. It started out a small event, but eventually William Jennings Bryan was invited to participate to assist the prosecution. Clarence Darrow was urged to defend John Scopes, and these were two of the biggest names in America at the time. They came to Dayton, and for 8 days of court time, the lawyers argued over great issues: creation, evolution, science and religion, parental rights, minority rights, majority rights, who runs the schools, what parents and taxpayers have with how government, how schools are operated. Scopes was convicted, but the conviction was overturned 2 years later. And as a result of the trial, Bryan College came into being 5 years later.
It was a complete and utter circus. Just like the circus, it was exciting, it was thrilling, and then one day the trial was over, everybody packed up, and Dayton went back to being the sleepy little backwater it always has, except Bryan College. Dayton, because of those 2 weird weeks in 1925, gave birth to this place, and it's been an enduring legacy.
The Sunday morning papers, after the trial had been selected, ran a story across the country where they were suggesting that Columbia University would not allow any Tennessee public school students to come to their college because of the beliefs of Tennessee students. And the superintendent of the Rhea County schools at the time said, well, that's a ridiculous idea. We need to just build our own college here and call it William Jennings Bryan University. 5 days after he died, there was a group of prominent Dayton citizens that came together with the intention of forming an association that would honor Mr. Bryan in a way that his family would approve of. And of course, it was a natural outgrowth that they would suggest a university could do that. And Bryan's family did approve it. And of course, we're here today because of that William Jennings Bryan Memorial University Association that was formed.
With the Scopes trial, the Rhea County Courthouse was the host of history, and that is why we have to preserve this site for future generations.
It's so important to study and preserve our past in order to live in the present and be ready for the future. So this book that came out this year tells a whole lot more of the story than just those three little highlights. And it tells the whole life of Mr. Bryan, who was a phenomenal politician, statesman, and religious leader, and he loved education. And so our school is a memorial to him. So this book is written to memorialize him as well. And you can learn a lot more about the trial and the events around that as well.